I think people paid for the parade too. Of course, people who don't like Trump are like, this parade's costing $90 million. And I bet it did. It probably cost $90 million.
Yeah, that parade sucked.
But I think he also found a way to squeeze money out of more donors for that parade somehow.
It was sponsored by some
crypto
thing. I forget who did it.
Oh, God, that
wasn't well spent, I guess. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it couldn't have been good advertising.
So that parade was humiliating and embarrassing.
But it was so gay.
There's this one part where the podium is set up perfectly in line with the White House, far in the background. The White House must have been 3/4 of a mile behind it. And then on either side, enormous electronic billboards are there. Maybe they were green screen the way they are in like sports stadiums where they can just plug anything on there for the viewer at home. But they say crypto.com, enormous crypto.com on either side. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Oh, I didn't care about the crypto ads, but all the clips I saw, it's like, have you seen like China's military parades or Russia's or North Korea's? Like they go balls to the wall and they put like there's thousands and thousands and they're marching in lockstep and there's cool rockets and
before
stuff.
the marching thing changes, Kyle.
Yes.
Do you think that the fact that they couldn't march in sync was that they needed more practice or an act of civil disobedience?
Intentional. So it's a couple. It's not civil disobedience.
I'm listening.
They don't want to be there. They don't want to be doing that. So they're walking. And also like it's a terrible comparison. So that was just the Army's birthday. It was touted as Trump's birthday parade, and I get the dates coincide. And maybe it wouldn't have happened if the dates didn't coincide. But it's just the Army there, and it's not the modern Army. They did the American Army through history. So they started out with a bunch of fucking guys with muzzle loaders, like. They stormed Bunker Hill and showed the redcoats what for. And it's like, okay, well, this is like a tiny rinky-dink like history parade. You should have said that. You should have made it clear because the North Koreans are like, look at the shitty ass American military. And there's like donkeys pulling a fucking like 8-inch gun through the streets. And it's like,
squeaky World War II tanks looked bad to me.
They should have greased them bitches up. There's no reason for that Sherman. They rolled by in a Sherman Easy 8 or whatever, and that thing's like I've been in one of those before.
Creaking.
It's going.
It did. In repetitive creaking. Kyle did a good job.
Yeah, dude, you can't do that. You need. And I saw the little contingents of the armies throughout history, and it's like 40 guys. It's like if parades don't look cool unless number one you're actually marching correctly. And number two, you need a shit ton of guys because that's part of the like. Remember in 2008? Remember how cool that Olympic show was that the Chinese did when they were all banging drums and there was like a drone or some shit film. It was like that spooked me. I was like, oh man, I was kind of spooked in 2008. I was like, damn, China plays for
They're
keeps.
Coordinated as fuck.
Yeah,
in France, when that archer lit the torch, I was scared. That's a longbow of mass destruction.
Here's why it's not fair to compare those two, because like the marches they have in Russia, North Korea, and China, which is where I think of like the craziest, coolest looking parades. Those are propaganda parades. Those are also the armies that almost never go to war. I don't think China's ever sent those guys. Those guys don't fight. Those guys march for a living. Like I feel like those guys, their entire job is to practice that drum routine for months on end. And when they're marching in those parades, same thing. It's like, this is what that guy does. Whereas we got a bunch of good old boys who are, I don't know, soldiers. And they're like, all right, get to marching. I'm sure you're going to, like, it's probably a bunch of fruity artistic types marching in that Chinese parade. We don't know. And in the North Korean parade for sure. Like, if they walked out of step in North Korea,
Ohio State's band, right? Those fuckers would be amazing. They'd be out there doing like video game battles, like
like Pac-Man stuff.
That'd be great. You see like the first half of an awesome parade, and then it's like, oh, tight, like rah-rah music, and then those guys come through in the middle.
The greatest band in the land comes out and Pac-Man goes after ghosts.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Like, why even have a military parade unless you're going to go balls to the wall? The whole point of a military parade is propaganda. It's meant to be intimidating to other countries.
Well, like, maybe Trump will have another birthday next year.
Maybe he'll he'll learn his lesson and be like, guys, that shit sucked, and was pretty embarrassing. Groups of 40 people walking by. No, we need to fucking 10x this shit minimum the way those Chinese do it.
In my head, Trump is like, all right, the parade kind of sucked, but I made a lot of money. Like my bank account went up by 75 million that day. We saved money by not having a real parade.
That getting rug pulled on a parade, that sucks. Because the way it was talked about, at least from like, the more histrionic people I see online from the left were like, this is going to be just fascism incarnate. It's going to be a display of military strength meant to intimidate protesters around the country. And it's like, you're crazy. And then it actually happens. And it's like a bunch of guys who like want to go home. Like, and they're at work and they're like, this sucks.
The guys coming out from the Vietnam conflict wearing that hot ass green pants and shit. They look like real Vietnam vets wanting to go home. They look so sad out there, hot and sweaty.
And in fairness, if I were a soldier and they told me like, hey, I know you thought you had the weekend off, but now you have to like dress up like a fucking dandy and march around DC, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm not walking right. Like that sucks. You're keeping me overtime. I don't like it.
You don't pay taxes on the overtime now, though. Buck up, soldier.
Maybe that would.
I don't think soldiers get overtime.
I don't think they do either. I don't know how solder pay works. I think it's
locked in on a flat rate.
I think they get paid by the head, right? Is that right?
Jesus Christ.
That'd be a good way to do it.
They should have a little tool like they use for fish, like so they don't kill babies. That one's too small. Throw it back. It's a good idea.
It is.
Otherwise, people just rack up the score in villages and shit.
Then we'd have like a real way to like critique Israel more, where it'd be like, hey, these IDF guys aren't even holding up the internationally recognized length of string to make sure that these children throwing rocks aren't big enough to be caught.